Our next presenter is Harold Underwood from Messiah College, and he's going to talk about WERCware.
Okay, I am Harold Underwood, and I'm Associate Professor of Engineering at Messiah College, and I'm here to tell you about bringing wireless-enabled remote co-presence to market. I'd also like to introduce my team, even though they've introduced themselves a little bit already, but we also have Dr. Nancy Patrick, who's an Associate Professor of Special Education, other faculty and students at Messiah College who are working through the Collaboratory for strategic partnerships and applied research. From our partner SymBionx, we also have Bill Weeder here, who's our senior systems architect, and also is SymBionx founder, Kurt Byers, who has had the original idea and the vision for this assistive technology. So wireless-enabled remote co-presence. Wireless-enabled remote co-presence is a concept which is embodied in a state-of-the-art communications technology and a system called WERCware. The concept involves a service provider at one location being invisibly present with and sharing the experiences of a client with a disability. The client with a disability is receiving a service such as job coaching or in-home attendant care at a second location, arbitrarily distant from the provider's location. Both the client and the provider maintain wireless connectivity to each other and receive support from back-end systems at a third location, the WERCware Operations Center. Communication is maintained through the internet, or in some cases through cellular networks, since smartphones such as the Android platform supports both of these modes at both locations. On the client side, a student and/or adult wears a device that includes both a microphone and a camera, enabling two-way audio conversations and a one-way video monitored by the remote coach. The current 2011 client prototype device, pictured here, consists of an audio headset equipped with a custom-mounted USB camera connected to a portable PC and a battery carried in a pouch on the client's waist. This version has been tested with positive results. However, some weaknesses we hope to address with a newer version of WERCware currently under development. From our current prototype, within the next year, we are moving to a more compact smartphone, the Android, with its own built-in camera and a smaller separate audio headset. By 2013, we hope to have the smartphone camera and microphone fully integrated as an audio headset device. The remote provider also wears a headset for audio communication with the client, monitors a video image that typically shares the client's point of view of his or her environment, and may access an individualized client profile of context-relevant information, including pre-entered intervention scripts. WERCware also intends to develop and support the following 4 unique features. Number 1, remote provider time sharing. That is a single provider serving multiple clients. 2, instant and delayed replay of audio-video recorded crisis events. Number 3, biometric monitoring of client stress levels. And 4, automated process documentation. These 4 features provide a unique economic and competitive advantage when bringing WERCware to market. The market opportunity of client end users for WERCware includes a broad spectrum of people, including students and adults of all ages, but specifically the following. 1, those having autism spectrum disorders in job coaching or adult autism and developmental disabilities programs. 2, patients recovering from brain trauma injuries receiving in-home attendant care. 3, adults in elder care programs. And 4, others needing attendant care or coaching support while mobile. Among these client end users, the market opportunity exists for those either capable of engaging in competitive employment or able to pursue more independent living options through the benefits of WERCware. However, the market opportunity for WERCware also involves coaches and attendant care providers who could benefit from the economy of the single provider, multiple client delivery of services, and other unique features previously mentioned. When WERCware gets applied as a product and service, it becomes what we call social work. Consider first WERCware as a generic disability services platform. As such, WERCware must be customized to meet the unique requirements of a specific human disability service application. After these adjustments, WERCware will be ready to be embedded in a business model and other processes related to the disability service as it is conventionally provided. The end result of this procedure is a marketable product we call the Social Work Disability Services Application, or DSA. Go back to the previous slide here. The likely first social work DSAs will be autism spectrum disorder and other disability-sensitive job coaching, 2, in-home provision of services for people with cognitive disabilities, and 3, behavioral intervention programs. The social work DSA will be marketed as appropriate to a provider of the disability service. Bringing WERCware to market will include engineering technical aspects, expanding pilot tests, and applying a business plan. Moving to a smartphone platform such as the Android allows open source application development. Thus, prototype development will involve writing applications that support client-provider functions, integrating external hardware peripherals such as battery, biometric sensors, and USB ports, and configuring back-end database software to facilitate remote provider and client user operations. Expanding pilot studies involving students and adults in the workplace will help us focus on the most satisfactory configurations of the WERCware system to shape the next steps forward. Creating and implementing a business plan will involve securing business model data from at least one or more job coaching agencies and major attendant care providers so as to test our hypothesis in various scenarios about the cost efficiencies offered by our strategy. The complete business plan will include a for-profit version of SymBionx to raise initial capital and move towards production. The overall risk assessment of social work includes issues that involve design of the technology, effective social job coaching, business models, and legal protection. Technical challenges in developing WERCware to achieve its objectives include the need for, number 1, the client to be comfortable enough wearing the device so as to avoid feeling awkward physically and socially, 2, keeping the client unimpaired for any necessary job function, and 3, enabling the client to access the remote coach whenever needed. WERCware addresses these 3 technical challenges by making the client-side device as unobtrusive as possible, compact and worn on the head or the chest to keep the hands free, using a long-life battery and tapping into well-developed wireless technologies for internet communication via Wi-Fi signals and cell phone systems. Meanwhile, on the provider side, in an approach supported by WERCware, the coach can benefit from the choice of alternative views in order to see enough for effective intervention. Though it has not yet been formally established by extensive studies, our preliminary results suggest that the remote co-presence will be at least as successful as the conventional approach, and will lead to more thorough tests that refine social work to increase its efficacy. The major category of business and market factors includes, of course, the early stage unknown competitor and a lack of precedent for government and private insurance funding for remote provision of services. For the purposes of showing utmost respect for the personal privacy rights of everyone interacting with WERCware and to mitigate liability risks, WERCware will offer the following features. Number 1, the capability to recognize and digitally mask faces and or distort voices so as to protect the identity of all third parties, and 2, various client empowerment and privacy protection features involving client-enabled permissions and or reminders. WERCware and Social Work DSA customers will be current physical presence-only providers of disability services. This slide indicates the categories of disability service providers most likely to benefit from WERCware and social work. Individual school districts may not have enough transition job coaching students in any one year, but the intermediate units provide disability services for multiple school districts and are thus more likely customers. For each of these groups, the grid shows one or more particular social work DSAs that may meet the need, depending on the end user's specific circumstances. While Medicaid-funded in-home attendant care is the largest market, it may be the furthest from achievable revenue due to reimbursement policy changes that are necessary. On the other hand, job coaching funded by the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation for adults with ASD and other types of cognitive or behavioral deficit may be the most immediate yield. Recent statistics show that 1 out of every 110 children born in the U.S. are now diagnosed with ASD. Estimates indicate that adolescents with ASD aged 15 to 21 will top 272,000 within the next 5 years. As a result of this growing need, school districts have been given a federal mandate requiring the ASD transition program involving job coaching. However, a lack of ASD-trained job coaches exists. Many with ASD and other disabilities are capable of engaging in competitive employment, but need coaching intervention at critical times. Even for independent living, funding cuts have reduced the availability of waiver-supported attendant care. WERCware, with its single provider, multiple client capability, addresses the problem of provider availability by increasing the number of clients the provider can practically handle while offering a quality solution by delivering disability-specific, individualized services. WERCware could easily make the difference between a client engaging in competitive, income-generating employment or staying at home at the equivalent opportunity cost. However, WERCware enables a client either to be employed at a work site or to receive care at home with more mobility and independence as afforded by the wireless client-side device, while receiving constantly available support from a remotely located provider when needed. Furthermore, WERCware does better than physical presence in fading support by the provider toward a later stage of greater client self-sufficiency. Benefiting both the provider and the client, WERCware lowers the cost of disability services delivery in at least 2 important ways. 1, by eliminating coach-attendant travel time and cost, and 2, by facilitating remote provider time sharing in the single provider, multiple client, multiple location mode. Automatically documenting the nature of services rendered over time allows generation of billing and payroll data in a more efficient way than is presently possible. The capability for a provider to review recorded client events and/or services delivered increases the potential of quality of support. Finally, WERCware mitigates liability issues with third-party identity protection options and client-empowered features as previously described so that WERCware can fully comply with HIPAA and FERPA requirements. Widely publishing the overall concept of WERCware will preclude other groups from patenting the idea, as the Android-oriented smartphone approach involves the development of specialized software applications. Copyright protection for such proprietary code will be needed. In addition, we can build an IP protection around our core technology with a number of small-scale patents on specific features. For example, how we combine facial image pixelation and voice distortion to protect third-party identities, or provide the automated restroom cutoff transmission recording feature for confidentiality. 4 categories of potential competitors in the WERCware market include 1, medically focused national telehealth system integrators, 2, pre-commercialization, typically grant-funded proof-of-concept remote service delivery projects, 3, webcam video conference-based private pay psychotherapy, and 4, conventional job coaching or attendant care. National telehealth system integrators tend to be oriented towards physician practice, medical, device-specific, and facility-centric solutions, selling high-end, high-cost systems including consulting, downstream training, and support. A specific example in this category is AMD Global Telemedicine. A program in Nebraska established to implement telehealth involves the delivery of remote supervision for psychiatric nurses and residents. The most commercial and professional organization devoted to behavioral telehealth is the Online Therapy Institute. OCI focuses on providing training and resources for therapists wanting any of a wide range of modes of remotely provided private pay behavioral health services. Finally, conventional physically present job coaching attendant care limited to one-on-one delivery of services on site represents conventional mode competition to WERCware. Compared to video conferencing and telemedicine solutions offered by the competition, WERCware provides client mobility to enable more dynamic life and work context support as opposed to a static facility focus. WERCware centers on coaching to overcome cognitive deficits rather than physician treatment of medical conditions. WERCware takes advantage of the existing and widely commercialized smartphone as a platform, augmented by a centralized back-end database to facilitate effective, individualized coaching or attendant care, providing a lower cost system rather than high-priced medical equipment. Beyond the lower upfront cost compared to telemedicine, WERCware sustains ongoing support by way of an annual subscription to provide a customizable turnkey system to the client. Compared to the piecemeal use of technology uncoupled with social services, WERCware will support client event recording for review, including third-party identity protection, client empowerment, and provider time-sharing features unavailable on the standard smartphone or other digital devices on the market by themselves. In this way, WERCware has a competitive edge compared to any of the presently available alternatives. Well, thank you for listening, and I'd be glad to take any questions you might have